Hi guys, welcome back to Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to be talking about the October monthly reading. And in this video we are going to talk about some of the key dates which will be, depicting the transits of the planets into your respective signs and houses. And based on that we are going to analyze as to what sort of an impact you are going to see through the course of this month. So without further ado, let's quickly jump into the key dates that are going to come into play. Now, guys, as you can see on your screen here, Sun is going to be in the sign of Virgo until October 16th. And from October 17th onwards, it is going to be coming into its sign of debilitation in Libra. Mercury is already in the sign of Libra from October 2nd onwards, and it will move into the sign of Scorpio from October 24th onwards. So it's going to see, a dual shift in this month. Then you have Venus, which is sitting in the sign of Leo until October 8th. And then from October 9th onwards, it will also move into its sign of debilitation in the sign of Virgo. Mars is in Libra until October 26th. And from October 27th onwards, Mars will be moving into its own sign of Scorpio. So that's a great movement which is coming into play for you guys. Then you have Jupiter in the sign of Gemini until October 17th. And then comes the big change where Jupiter moves into its sign of exaltation from October 18th onwards. So you see, Sun is coming into its debilitation, Venus is coming into its debilitation, Mars, on the other hand, is coming to its own sign whilst Jupiter is coming into exaltation. So, pretty important movements as we can see through the course of this month, with Saturn continuing in the sign of Pisces. But it's important to know that in its retrograde motion, it is now going to be moving into the Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra in the sign of Pisces itself. Then you have Rahu in Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Again, both Rahu and Saturn happen to be in the same nakshatra. It is ruled by Jupiter. And this is going to be interesting because Saturn's retrograde movement is bringing it much closer to Rahu at this point in time through the course of this month, whilst Ketu continues in its Purva Falguni Nakshatra, that of Venus itself in the sign of Leo. So Pisces, as you guys can see on your screen here, you have Saturn in its deepest retrogression sitting in your first house itself. Now, if you are watching this from a moon sign perspective, remember it is part of your second phase of Sade Sati. And it is not an easy period because Saturn's retrogression, a malefic planet getting in its deepest retrogression, is not going to be very conducive for you folks. Plus, it is moving closer, inching closer, and operating in the same nakshatra like Rahu. Yes, it is in Jupiter's nakshatra, and things are going to get better for you folks once Jupiter gets exalted. But it is going to be a period where you could be facing a lot of stress, turbulence, difficulties in your life. Saturn from here is giving a retrograded aspect towards your third house. Now, you have to understand as to what is happening to Venus before we understand the aspects of Saturn. Venus is currently placed in your sixth house in conjunction with Ketu. First of all, being the third lord and your eighth lord, yes, being the eighth lord, it is forming a Viparit Raj Yoga, but the third lord coming into the sixth house and eighth lord coming into the sixth house, and that to a benefic planet, a soft, kind planet like Venus in a turbulent partnership with Ketu is not going to be making things easier at your workplace too. This is going to be a period where you will come out of difficulties after facing difficulties itself. Yes, there will not be a negative harm that will creep in your life, but you still have to go through tough period through the course of this duration before you survive. And it will require a lot of self-belief, courage, communication, articulation, and anticipation from your side. And that is why it is important that when we study the aspect of Saturn, we also see that what is happening to Venus. Whilst for the first 8 days, Venus is in conjunction with Ketu, it will then move into the seventh house in its sign of debilitation. Now, this is not a bad placement, even though it is coming into its sign of debilitation. The third lord moving 5 places away and coming to its natural house, seventh house. It's a good situation for your business partnerships, for your relationships. And he's your eighth lord as well, means some kind of surprise, transformation, suddenness is also going to come in your marriage, in your relationships, in your business connections. So be cognizant of these two bits. The reason I pivoted towards Venus, and I know I'm doing it a little haphazard here, but I wanted to connect the dots for you from the aspects of Saturn. That retrograded Saturn is giving an aspect towards your third house, and thereby you could lose the will of putting in enough hard work, enough effort, enough courage. And I wanted to highlight that if the third lord is in the sixth house and you are showing the right courage, then that Vipreet Raj Yoga is going to facilitate for you. If Venus is coming into its sign of debilitation in the seventh, though it is debilitated, it can still turn out positive if you are able to overcome that retrograded aspect of Saturn into your third house, as well as on the seventh house and on Venus too, which means that there still could be some complications in relationships. There could be some difficulties in your partnership, and you have to be extremely steady and persistent to overcome those problems. Venus is in the seventh house, being the eighth lord, means it's the loss of unexpected situations, unexpected turbulences. That is a positive thing as well. So, from your relationships, from your business partnerships, you could actually derive some gains as well. But it completely depends on how consistent and how persistent you are in the testing times, especially for Pisces moon perspective. Now, if you move further, your Rashi Lord or your Lagna Lord, as well as your 10th Lord, being Jupiter, is currently placed in your 4th house. Now, before it moves into its exaltation sign, Jupiter from here is square with Saturn, but it is going to be giving an aspect towards your 8th house, 10th house, and your 12th house. He is keeping that Rahu on a check. There could be some ballooning expenses, unexpected luxury, planned, unplanned items that could be coming in your life. But Jupiter will still try to give you the right mindset, the right direction as to whether or not you need to spend in those areas. It is also going to make you very exploratory when it comes to philosophy, when it comes to research, when it comes to spirituality for that matter. Jupiter's aspect towards your 10th house is going to keep you consistent. Remember, Saturn will still test you. And that test of Saturn is going to diminish once Jupiter gets exalted. Because Saturn is giving a retrograded aspect towards your 10th house as well. But Jupiter's aspect is going to still help you keep shining at your workplace, make you consistent with your hard work with respect to your reputation in the marketplace as well. Remember, this is a time when Venus 1 was in conjunction with Ketu, and Ketu was giving an aspect or continues to give an aspect towards the 10th house. So it is crucial for you to see all of these things coming in combination. Then Jupiter is also giving an aspect towards your 8th house, where your crucial planet, ninth lord, Mars, is placed. Mars is going to be in conjunction with Mercury from 2nd till 24th of October. So at least till 17th of October, that aspect of Jupiter coming into your 8th house is going to make your 8th house much more pure. Why do I say that pure? And remember, Venus, being the lord of the 8th house, is in Parivartan Yoga with Mercury and setting in the 7th house. So why did I say pure? See, your ninth lord, Mars, is the lord of your fate, luck, fortune, destiny, spirituality, gurus, mentors. And when such a pure lord comes into your 8th house, it is going to bring its goodness, its benefic nature towards your 8th elements as well. So those unexpected turbulences, transformations that we're talking about, they will not be negative in sense for that matter. Then you have your 7th and your 4th lord, which is Mercury. Now, Mercury happens to be your Badaka as well. So remember that he is coming in conjunction with Mars, which is a benefic planet for you guys, into the 8th itself. But that Mercury will be kept in check with the aspect of Jupiter until 17th of October. It is the 18th till 24th, which could be slight bit tricky for you. Now you have to also understand that whilst this is happening, Venus will be in exchange with Mercury during that period. Venus being the lord of your eighth house is in the seventh, while your seventh lord is in the eighth. And that means that there will be some exchange of money. There will be some bit of a transformation. There is going to be some bit of a revival that can come with your joint assets, with your life partner, with your spouse, with your business partners, in your business itself. There will be turbulences, but you will give back those turbulences, or you will recuperate from those turbulent situations as well. And I keep on repeating that turbulences will not be negative, because Mars, being that benefic planet from a ninth lordship perspective, is placed in the eighth. So you see, even though things look optically difficult, they are still panning out very much positively for you, Pisces. As we move further into the month, we see that Jupiter becomes exalted in your fifth house. Now, this is a terrific movement which is coming into play. Like, it is getting exalted for everyone, but the placement also need to be crucial, and it is very, very helpful in your case, because now your Lagna Lord or Rashi Lord is getting exalted in the fifth house. There will be an extraordinary amount of surge in terms of ideas, in terms of thought process, in terms of your past life punya itself getting triggered in some shape or form. It is going to be a tremendous period for people who are single and looking forward to forge relationships. This is going to be a period that you might end up reviving dead relationships, past connections as well. Of course, I would have to see your natal chart and dasha antar dasha to make a firm comment on that. But because Venus is coming into debilitation, but in exchange, and Jupiter is getting it to its exaltation, it is going to give some bit of a trouble, yet a positive outlook will come in your relationships. This is also going to be a superior time for your investment strategies, for your educational plans. As long as students watching this video, please be very careful. As long as you are enjoying your studies and focus towards competition with that mindset that you have to just go and play or gain, you will succeed. That is the impact of Jupiter's exaltation and presence of Ketu in the sixth house. Then what you will notice is that this is going to be good period with respect to your financial gains as well. Jupiter from here is giving an aspect towards your ninth house, your 11th house, and your first house. So your Lagna, your own thought process, your mind, if you're watching from a Rashi perspective, is going to be illuminated. You are going to find yourself in a lot of positive space of mind. The gains that you could be desire might be slightly lesser than what you anticipate, yet this Jupiter is going to give you promise of good returns. Now, I want to iterate this bit on the gains, because Mars is also going to be giving an aspect, and when we talk about Mars later in the video, we are going to touch on that aspect. As we move further, we see that you have Ketu and Rahu in your 6 and 12 axis. Ketu's placement in conjunction with Venus is not one of the best situations to be in, but I think it is going to be a much better state of affairs for you guys post 8th or 9th of October, once Venus is out of the radar. You have to remember that Ketu sitting here forms a decent Shatruhanta Yoga, but I will recommend you not going into any kind of deep confrontation situations. Most ideally, you would yourself be avoiding from your own end. This is going to be a period where you must remain consistent towards your job, not get involved in any kind of politics kind of situations. Rahu is going to give some balancing energy, but he is still bang opposite. So Ketu likes to deviate. So you have to be careful, especially because in the second half of the month, your sixth lord, Sun, is going to be coming into debilitation. Albeit forming a Vipreet Raj Yoga, he will still be coming into debilitation. And thereby be wary of any kind of office politics. Do not form any kind of confrontation with your peers, with your bosses, with your superiors. As you move further, you will see that the aspect of this Ketu is towards your 12th house, your 10th house, and your second house. So yes, you could be seeing certain degree of an impact from a financial strain or savings perspectives coming into play, but all of that will be washed off when we look into the aspects of the other planets coming into picture. As you move ahead, you will see that Sun is placed in your seventh house, bang opposite to Saturn, causing its deepest retrogression for the most part of the month. But in the first half of the month, it is placed in the seventh house itself. Now, sixth lord in the seventh house, which means that there is going to be materialization of some of your efforts on your day-to-day regimen, at your job front, at your career front. But It can be a difficult situation because Sun is getting into its natural debilitation in the seventh house. And he's the sixth lord coming into seventh, which means there could be chances of confrontation, difficulties, especially in the first half of the month with your business partner, with your life partner for that matter. Now, if you are watching this from a Pisces moon sign perspective, it could be making things all the more difficult, turbulent, emotionally challenging for you. But remember, Sun will be giving, will be sitting in conjunction with Mercury for a very brief period of time, and then it will be forming a conjunction with Venus here as well. Now, Venus and Sun conjunction is not a bad conjunction because it's the sixth and the eighth lord forming conjunction in the seventh house. This is something similar to what we had talked about Mars and Mercury conjunction for Aries. There are both positives and negative connotations to it. See, on the positive side of things, there will be some unexpected gains coming in your life after a bit of a turbulence, after a bit of a challenge. But you will have to overcome that. That is number one. Number two, there could be serious level of discrepancies that can come in your relationship, in your business partnership, in your marriage, because both the sixth lord, which is that of loans, litigations, animosity, legal troubles, sitting in the seventh, combined with the eighth lord, which is all difficulties, unexpected situations and transformation needed from that perspective. So it can be a difficult period from that perspective. And this is where you will have to look into your natal dasha, antardasha, and see if things are making sense for you. Once you move further, you will realize that Sun will be coming in conjunction with Mercury and Mars in your eighth house, where Sun will get debilitated. Now, most of you who watch my videos, you know that I'm not a huge fan of luminaries coming into the eighth house. But remember, from here, the Sun, Mars, and Mercury, all of these three planets will be giving an aspect towards your second house. And thereby, gain of wealth, growth of family, improvement in your monetary situations can all come together. They can all fall in place after some bit of challenges. See, challenges are bound to come because your sixth lord is coming into debilitation in the eighth. But sixth and eighth lord getting debilitated and forming Vipreet Raj Yoga is actually a very positive thing, Pisces, happening for you. So if you get into the intricacies, this is a positive build up in your case. And thereby, I am still okay because it is almost like a Nech Bhanga situation getting formed for you folks. If you move further, you will realize that whilst Sun will remain in your eighth house through the course of the end of October, Mercury will be moving into your ninth house. Now, talking about Mercury, he happens to be your fourth lord and your seventh lord. Fourth lord coming into the eighth, not an easy situation, lack of mental peace, some level of difficulties, disagreements coming into life. But from 24th of October onwards, you will see a definitive positive shift. There will be a stroke of luck that is going to touch upon you guys, Pisces, from the last part of October, 24th, 27th October. Things are going to become extremely positive because both your seventh lord and fourth lord will be coming into your ninth house, as well as your ninth lord will be in the ninth house itself. There are going to be few positive connotations here. There could be a good positive travel that could come into picture. You might end up taking up a long distance travel, vacation of some sort with your family members and find some mental peace there. It could also result into gains with your relationship, in your partnership, in your business associations that can materialize for you after a little bit of an effort. Maybe you might have to make a short distance travel as well to meet your clientele, to meet your key set of stakeholders, and then it will result into you having the right set of conversations because Mars and Mercury combination, conversations, communication is going to become crucial. And then to add to that layer is presence of Mars himself, who is your ninth lord. But before that, you have to be careful of the fact that until 27th, until 24th of October, the conjunction of Sun, Mercury, and Mars in your eighth house, where Mars and Mercury can ignite very strong, aggressive, retaliatory speech from your side. it can impact not only your business stakeholders, but also your family members. You have to understand the planets that are coming into picture, even your bosses, your superiors, your gurus, because your second house, your ninth house, your fourth and seventh, all of them are forming combination here, combined with the sixth. And thereby, my one word of warning to all of you would be, Pisces, that be watchful of how you are articulating your thought process, how you are communicating yourself to the people around you. In the last part of the month, things will settle down. But before we touch upon Mars movement, we want to see that what is Mars' presence in the eighth house doing? He's giving an aspect towards the 11th house where Jupiter was giving a debilitated aspect. So, throughout the course of this month, you will be driven and motivated towards your financial gains. You will be working towards your goals, objectives, desires, and you will be putting your best foot forward in that direction. At the same time, Mars is giving an aspect towards your second, so it is going to make you protective, careful towards your family, towards your food, towards your savings, and then giving an aspect towards your third house as well. So, on one side of the spectrum, the retrograded aspect of Saturn could make you drop the guard, not let you put enough effort. But the good part is that Mars aspect is going to still give you somehow that push, that stroke of luck if you are ready to put your efforts in the right direction. So you have to be prepared on that front too. Now, when Mars moves into its own sign, into its own house in the last part of the month, of course, he will remain conjunct with Mercury as well. From here, Mars will be giving an aspect towards your third house, fourth house, and your 12th. So, some expenses could definitely be on the rise, or travel of some sort, both long distance and short distance, or maybe in a foreign place could come into picture. It is going to become, be giving an aspect towards your Rahu as well. So amplification of your expenses or some major decision could come into picture. It may not be a bad idea for some of you to make donation of blood, etc., if you anticipate not any kind of planned expenses coming into picture. So be watchful of that front as well. Now, Mars from here will give an aspect into your fourth house, and he will be conjunct with the fourth lord itself. So your speech, your aggression should be at check with your family members, but it also indicates that there is a high possibility that many of you could move in the direction of real estate purchase, movable, immovable properties, some kind of a desirable expenses coming into picture. Rahu is already there in the 12th. Mars is coming in, giving an aspect, amplifying that bit. And now Mars is also giving an aspect. So many of you could now think of buying a property, investing into some kind of a vehicle of some sorts. So all those things seem to be still giving a positive uptick, especially from September, where we had such a high degree of turbulence with the two eclipses coming into picture. I think it was one of the toughest readings that I had given. Pisces, I see a lot of positive tick in the next few weeks, and I hope you are going to make full use of the opportunity that the month of October entails for you. If you have enjoyed watching this video, then I need you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.